Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Rachna Sharma and you are watching Food Tech Geeks, where I upload videos, lectures, tutorials, exam guidance and study material for various competitive exams, all related to food science and technology. Today's video is based on fortification. In this video, I'll be discussing what is fortification, why it is needed, various terms related to it and laws related to fortification. But before moving on to food fortification, let's understand a very simple term which is hidden hunger. Let's understand this by using a simple example. You may have observed that nowadays a large number of population is having various health problems like weak eyes, hair loss, and anemia, skin related problems due to the deficiency of one or the other micromineral or the micronutrient. Actually, it is due to the lack of balanced diet or due to the lack of variety in our diet. And this leads to the deficiency of particular micronutrient in our body. Also, many a times it happens that during the processing of the food, there are certain losses of the minerals or the nutrients, and thus they become unavailable for our body, and our body get deficient in those micronutrients. Then, due to this problem, the FSSAI came up with a concept which is known as fortification. Later, we'll define what is fortification. And on 2nd of August 2018, FSSAI introduced the food safety and regulation on the fortified foods under Food Safety and Standards Regulation 2018. And these regulations describes various standards and regulations which needs to be met for the purpose of food fortification. Now let's discuss about some of the very basic and important terminologies. The number one is fortification. Fortification is the process in which we deliberately or intentionally increase the amount of particular micronutrient into the food, and it will help us to increase the nutritional quality of the food, which on a long run will improve the public health. Then is the fortificant. Fortificant is that substance which is added to the food as a source of micronutrient. But remember that it do not include any nutraceutical or any special dietary use food. Then is the fortified food. Fortified food is that particular food which has undergone the process of fortification. Means it's that type of food in which any particular amount of any micronutrient is being incorporated. Now there are some of the rules and regulations for the packaging and labeling of the fortified foods which are mandatory to be followed. Number one is every fortified food should be labeled that it is being fortified with and the name of the fortificant. For example, the salt which we are using nowadays, it is being fortified with iodine. So when you will check the label, you will find that it is being written on the pack that fortified with iodine. Similarly, now the milk is being delivered as if fortified with vitamin A and D. So it must be labeled as fortified with vitamin A and D. The second is every fortified food should have the plus F logo, and this plus F logo indicates that the food is being fortified. Number three is there is a tagline which says Sampoorn Poshan Swasth Jeevan. This tagline is optional, it's not mandatory, and it can be present on the packet or it may not be present on the packet. And if it is present on the packet, it will be below that plus F sign. Now number fourth is for those foods which strictly have iron fortification. So if the food has an iron fortification, it must have a recommendation, or it must, or we can say that it is a warning that not recommended for people with thalassemia and people on low iron diet. So these are some of the commodities which are being fortified: salt, rice, oil, wheat flour and milk. Now we'll discuss about each of them separately. Number one is double fortified salt. Okay, so maybe this question will be arise in your mind, then why it is being called as double fortified? Actually, let me give a brief history of this. Majority of the population in India is vegetarian, and there is one micromineral which is iodine. It is basically present in seafood. So due to this reason, most of the population, actually the Indian population, is being deficient in iodine content. And as we all know that salt is very basic ingredient which is being consumed by mostly everybody. So the FSSAI and the government has decided to go for the fortification of the salt with iodine. But nowadays, it has been observed that more than half of the population of India is being anemic due to the deficiency of iron. So they have decided that along with iodine, we will be fortifying the salt with iron also. So the same salt has been fortified twice, therefore it is known as double fortified salt. So the double fortified salt is fortified with iron and iodine. So there are certain limits of the microminerals which are to be added during the process of fortification. So for the iodine, it should not be less than 15 ppm on dry wet basis. And if we talk about the current status of double fortified salt, nearly 1,54,000 metric tons of double fortified salt is produced annually in India. Now, these are some of the brands which are commonly present in the market of the double fortified salt. You can see the various names: Tata Salt, Amma Salt, Health Salt, Jagannath Salt. And in spite of these, various brands are also present in the market. Then comes fortified vegetable oil. It is being fortified with vitamin A and vitamin D. And if we talk about the current status, so out of the organized sector, 3.37% of the oil is fortified. And if we talk about the brands of the fortified vegetable oil, so these are some of the brands which says Patanjali, Fortune, Dhara, Goldivia. These are some of the basic products which are present in the market. Then is the fortified milk. Fortified milk is that milk which is being fortified with vitamin A and vitamin D. And these are the limits of the vitamins which should be present in the fortified milk. If we say about the current status, so in the milk industry, the total share of organized sector is only 30%. Means the rest of the 70% is unorganized milk, means the loose milk. So out of this 30% organized sector, the private dairies contribute 17.28% of the fortified milk, and the cooperative dairies contribute about 82.72% of the fortified milk. These are some of the brands of the fortified milk, which is Nourish from Nestle, Verka, Krishna, Medha, and Quality, and also there are many more brands. Then is the fortified wheat flour, which is being fortified with iron. The limit should be 20 mg of iron per kg of flour. Then is the folic acid, vitamin B12. Maybe you all know that vitamin B12 is naturally present in the bran layer of the whole wheat grain. But during the milling process, that bran layer is being removed. So there is a loss of vitamin B12. Therefore, we incorporate vitamin B12 during the fortification process. And if we talk about the current status, so 2.48 million metric tons of the fortified wheat flours are produced annually. These are some of the brands of fortified wheat flour: Ashirwad, Chakki Fresh Atta, which is from Pillsbury, Golden Harvest, Annapurna, etc. Then is the fortified rice. Fortified rice is those rice which are fortified with iron, folic acid, vitamin A, and vitamin B12. The current status says that nearly 1,000 metric tons is produced annually. And these are the examples of the fortified rice: Ashba, Dawat, and many more also there. Then is the State Food Fortification Index. This index indicates that what is the share of different states into the process of fortification. So they are given the score out of 20, in which Uttar Pradesh stood at first with a score of 9 out of 20, and Chhattisgarh has a score of 4. You can also check out the various scores of different states. Here we can see that the concept of milk fortification was introduced in 2017, and it was fortified with vitamin A and D, and it is being implemented to all the states, which means the processing of milk in every state should be with the fortification of vitamin A and D. and nearly 180 million tons of fortified milk is being consumed annually, and it's being the cost of the fortification. So now we can conclude that the fortification of milk was introduced in 2017, and it was fortified with vitamin A and D. And the fortification of milk was implemented in all the states of India. Means in every state of India, the fortified milk will be provided. And it's the demand which is given, that what is the demand of fortified milk. It's about 180 million tons per annum. And then is the fortification cost, it's rupees 60 per ton. And if we see of wheat, the fortification was introduced in 2018 with vitamin B12, iron and folic acid, and it was implemented in 12 of the states of India. Means in only 12 of the states the fortified wheat is available. And the demand and the fortification cost is being given here. The fortification cost for per ton is rupees 20. Then is the edible oil. The concept of fortification of edible oil was also introduced in 2018, and it was implemented in all the states. And the cost is rupees 100 per ton. And if we talk about rice, it was introduced very lately in 2019, and it was implemented in 15 states only. And in the coming future, maybe many more foods will be fortified to improve the public health. So we can conclude that fortification is one of the best methods to improve public health. And from now onwards, you also please check every time this plus F sign on the labeling during shopping of these commodities. Thank you so much. Please like, share and comment. Subscribe to the channel for more new content. Stay home, stay safe.